Most people don't have a results problem. They have a systems problem. Every client I see already has a path. I don't guess in consultations. I follow a system. My protocols aren't random. They're repeatable. And if you're ready to build your business like this is exactly what I teach inside my 6-week group mentorship. Spring Edition begins May 4th. Registration is open now. Because when your systems are right, your results stop being optional.
What's up, everybody? It's Maisha Edmond, licensed cosmetologist in the state of New York, also a certified trichologist. I am super excited to be here. I am your most favorite trichology mentor and trichology strategist. How about that? If you didn't know, now you know. Super excited to be here. I am here because I got stuff to say. I also want to check in. I check in from time to time. And so, yeah, let's get to it. Let me see. I am live on Instagram, trichology_911. I'm also live on my Facebook page as well as my YouTube page. Okay. I was about to say amen. That's crazy. All right. Let me see what I got here. A little bit of housekeeping before we get started. Hey, listen, wherever you're coming from, wherever you are, go ahead and put in a chat so I can say what up, how you doing, and all that jazz. I'm trying to wait for this to show up on my phone so that I can see everybody. But nonetheless, super excited to be here. Listen, again, I'm live on Instagram, trichology_911, live on Facebook, and I'm live on YouTube. And I want to talk about Group Mentorship 2026 Spring Edition that starts on May 4th. But I also want to talk about all the things, right? All the things. This morning I had this realization, right? That I was thinking about how so many people are in, and this don't have nothing to do with trichology per se, but so many people are in AI and using AI to scale business. But what I realized is that there are so many people, because when you have a new thing, right? So many people in AI that are creating something and then talking about automation and scaling things and stuff like that. And I'm like, yo, you're scaling stuff that you don't have a foundation for. You are scaling things that you do not have a foundation for. And so you are trying to automate voices and automate phone calls and all that other stuff. And you never even made phone calls. You've never even showed up for your business. And so I thought that was just really interesting, because I'm seeing a lot of people talking about automation and stuff like that. Anyway, I ain't here for that. I'm here for the trichologists. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? What's up? What's going on? What is going to be? What it is, right? It is, what is it? It is April 17th, which is crazy. We are still in the top of the first quarter, but also we are past the midway point for April. And if you are a trichologist and you are like, I need to pull some stuff together, this is the live for you. Call your friends, call your people, let them know we chatting. I want you to be super active in the comments, because we're going to be talking about what we are talking about. Okay. We're going to talk about all the things that we are talking about. All right, I got my phone up too, so now I can see all the comments and stuff like that, because I do have notes and I'm gonna read them. Okay, all right. So basically, you already know trichology. So and I always say this: you already know trichology. All the things, right? Hold up, let me see. Turn that off. It's over here. Okay. Somebody's saying God is trying to tell you something while I'm Trying to get myself together. Turn it around. Turn it around. Here I am. Oh, I'm sad because the camera on the iPad is everything. And my iPad died. Is anybody having a problem with the iPad like charging? It's so weird. My iPad will not stay charged. Like it won't charge. And then when it does get a little bit of charge, it is like literally like 7% if I leave it on like all day. Maybe it's my charger, maybe it's not. Whatever. All right, let me see what I got here. So I'm gonna put my phone up here. Unplug this. That's what we gotta deal with. It's what we gotta do. Let me see. Do I have? All right. So we about to get this going. What is this? What is this? What is this? All right. So wherever you're from, say what's up. And we're going to be talking about trichology mainly, but we're also going to be talking about our business, scaling, all the things. So I'm going to put a little picture behind me over here and get going. All right. So basically, I really wanted to get into just kind of like us talking about our trichology practices because you, like I said, you already know trichology, right? And you already know the conditions, you already know the things, right? You know protocols, you know how to look at a scalp, you know how to tell your client exactly what's happening, and you know exactly what they need, but that's not the problem. That we have like other problems, you know what I'm saying? We have other issues as it relates to trichology and our trichology business. Are you able to decide one day, you know, when you wake up, you know what, I'm going to make this amount of money in my practice today? Are you able to do that? Right? A lot of times we are not because we don't know what to do. We don't know how to do it. And so the problem is also that like nobody can find you, right? Again, let me just say this real quick because I did start over on Instagram. I am live on Instagram, trichology_911. I'm live right here on Facebook and also on YouTube. And so what I was saying was, and listen, if you're not in trichology, if you are in the beauty profession or you're just an entrepreneur, then this is definitely going to help you as well. So basically, as trichologists, we know the things to do. But the thing is that when we were in school, they didn't teach us how to use the things that we learned, right? And I was saying earlier that I had this thought this morning, how I see so many people online talking about scaling their business or scaling this or scaling that. I remember, I still don't feel like I have a full grasp on what scaling means to be able to say it. But I noticed that a lot of people are using like a lot of technology like AI and different things like that to scale a business that they have no foundation for. You have to use a tool is a tool, right? Even in Bible study last night, I was saying, I think I even posted it yesterday, that AI is not a paradigm shift, it's a tool. The thing that you found out about, the thing that you're learning is not a paradigm shift, so to speak. It is just a tool. So you can use it to up level your business, right? And so like getting to trichologists, right? The problem is nobody can find you. People are not able to find you. They're not able to find us, right? Nobody is following up with your leads. There's nobody that is that's booking the consultation that you've already earned. So you do a 15-minute consultation, you're talking to the people, you tell them, you discuss the questions that they've asked, you give them some insight, and then they don't book right then like a full consultation or whatever the case, or a like an in-person thing or like a treatment, and you're discouraged and you don't call, right? And when they do show up, there's nothing in place to bring them back. There's nothing in place to bring them back. So you have the knowledge, but you're missing what's considered like infrastructure as it relates to our trichology practices. And that I feel like has to end today. That has to end today. And so that being said, welcome in. I'm Maisha Edmonds, certified trichologist, tri-state premier trichologist, founder of Trichology 911 University. And I am the person who built AI Elevated Consulting specifically so that professionals like you are able to stop doing all the extra stuff and stop being the best kept secret. You in business, you don't need to be the best kept secret. Okay, you don't need that. You don't need that. So if you're watching this, even if you watch this late, I want you to drop your name and where you're joining from in the comments, because I want to see who is in the room. I want to see who is in the room. Okay, who's in the room? Where are you coming from? Somebody might watch this that's not a trichologist, and they might need a trichologist. Drop your name in the comments and where you're from. Okay, I'm going to be talking to trichologists today. But if you are any kind of service provider, wellness practitioner, or a health adjacent business owner, I want you to stay with me because this applies to you too. And here's the truth: I need you to sit with that. That trichology or the trichology industry is growing. Is growing. Unfortunately, for the wrong reasons. Not everybody is coming because they want preventative care. So a lot of people are still like losing hair. They have like high stress and different things like that. But the trichology industry is growing, and people are waking up to hair loss. They're waking up to hair loss. They are searching for answers, right? They are ready to invest. And the practitioners who win in this next season are not going to be the ones who are not going to be the ones that with the most certification, right? They're not going to have all the plaques on the wall. They are going to be the ones who show up with assets. And so I say assets. I don't say steps. I don't say more training. I say assets. And I'm going to break down what that means and why it is the thing standing between where you are, right? Where you are right now and where you're trying to go. And at the end of this, I'm going to share something I've been building for a very specific group of trichologists who are ready to move differently. All right, let's go. Let's go. So the first thing I want to talk about, because I do have notes, let me get my little notes right here, is that, like, first of all, like most of us we were trained to learn the steps. As a trichologist, you were trained to learn the steps, right? You learn the protocol, you learn the assessment, you learn the science, right? You follow the steps, and then the clients will come. I remember when I first started trichology, I had to build my own trichology program. That's crazy, right? I built my own program because I understood that trichology is unregulated. And so because it's unregulated, I knew that if I wanted to be a certain trichologist, I would have to essentially build my own program to become that type of trichologist. So I was like, okay, when I finish this primary school, I need a class that teaches this. I need a class that teaches this, and I need a class that teaches this. So I wanted to be a well-rounded trichologist. And so right after I finished clinicals for trichology, I went to Connecticut to learn cranial prosthetics. And those were all in-person things. And then I was like traveling to Florida, traveling to different places to really gain skill and network and try to kind of build a community for myself, a network for myself, right? And so the thing is, you follow the steps and you hear that, the clients are going to come. I remember being in Connecticut when I was learning cranial prosthetics. I was in that cranial prosthetics class. I think it was a 2-day class, but it was all day, 8 hours a day. Different segments and stuff like that. And I remember the instructor saying, you need to be in a newspaper. Look where we are now, right? I think that was in 2016, 10 years ago. She goes, you need to be in the newspaper, and then also you need a 10 by 10 office. You need 100 square foot office. So me being excited, I finished with trichology school, as it were, and I'm at the end of the day, and she's telling us how much money we can make with cranial prosthetics, and she's telling us all the things. And so I fly back to New York. I'm driving, but I fly back to New York, and I'm like, I need to look for an office. I need to be on the main street. So I live in Long Island, so I'm gonna get on this main street, and it's gonna be all the things. So I went down every office building, every place that said it had office space for rent or for lease. And I got this place, and it was, I will never forget it. It was like in this building that had like a multi-use building, right? It had like acupuncture and get your taxes done and get your bookkeeping. It had all the things. And I went in there, and I got an office, and it was like all the way down the hall, wood paneling, all the things. And I went and I like put all my Tiffany blue, and I put this and that. And I remember when I first became a hair loss practitioner, they had given us like a little box, like with products in it, like you, what's it called, UTC? Not UTC, the UTC. I think whatever it was like a shampoo, conditioner, and a treatment. And I was like, I could not sell that. I was holding it because I was like, this is gonna be my first treatment plan, and whoever's they're gonna buy this. They got the supplements, they got this and that. So I put my little stuff in there, and I had everything set up, and I brought my desk in there, and I had a white swivel chair, and my boys and my husband had helped me put up the curtains and do all the things, and I had the special smells and all that other stuff, and I sat in that office. And nobody knew I was there. They did not know I was there. Literally, I didn't even have a sign outside, but I was just sitting there on a computer, looking at my phone, sitting, getting up, fluffing the pillows, sitting down, getting up, laying on the massage table, sitting down, and then saying, you know what, I'm gonna just go to lunch. And it was so crazy because I literally went to lunch in my lab coat, because I wanted somebody to ask me, what you do? I was in that grocery store and in the subway with the lab coat on, because I was just like, I want somebody to ask me what I do, so I can say, oh no, I'm a hair doctor. I'm a trichologist. It was like this whole thing. And it was like, when I went back, I ate my sandwich, and then I looked at the time, and I said, oh, let me get my baby from school. And I wore my lab coat to the school. I think like, that particular one was in kindergarten, and I like wore my little lab coat to the school, and it was just like, what are we doing? What are we doing? And so I was thinking about that, because although that time then is not this time now, I was trained to learn the steps. I knew the protocol. I knew the assessment. I knew the science. And I followed the steps, right? And I did all the things that they said you should do as a new trichologist, and that the clients would come, but nobody came. Nobody told me that the steps are invisible to my clients. The steps are invisible to the clients. Your client does not see your training. Your client does not see your certification, so to speak. She does not see the years that you spent studying conditions and scales and cycles, but she does see maybe your website, or she does not see you at all, right? She sees your landing page, or she lands somewhere else, right? She gets a follow-up call, or she forgets she ever made the appointment, right? Because after you do all the things that's going to make you this great trichologist, you have to have systems in place where people know that you are there, right? And so the steps get you qualified, but the assets get you paid. I'm going to say that again. The steps get you qualified, but the assets, those are the things that are going to get you paid. And a trichologist without assets is like a doctor without a practice. And the knowledge is real, but the business becomes invisible, right? So What are the assets I'm talking about? I'm talking about, and we just talking about business. I'm talking about having a website, right, that communicates your authority, right? So if you look at my newer website, it's beautiful, it is sleek, but it also has like a voice agent on it, right? Where somebody can click on the floating microphone and they can ask questions, and then it will answer the questions, right? And so that's really big. A landing page is also good, right? Because you can have a landing page and it's kind of like built around what your client is searching for, right? Not just what you offer. So if you say, okay, I have such and such that I am building, I want that client, let me see, hey, I want that client to be able to see what it is they are actually looking for. What are they looking for? Because sometimes, right, you send your client to the website, oh, yeah, just go to my website. But it's so much stuff on your website that they are like overwhelmed. But what if there was something that you were offering right now, and that's the thing that you want the client to see? Then you have a landing page built around what you want your client to know about you at that particular time. It's going to communicate your authority. It's going to communicate all those things, not just every single thing that you offer. And then sometimes you might need an AI twin, right? That represents you 24 hours a day, right? And answers all the questions that you don't have time for, or a voice agent that picks up the calls that you miss, or whatever like that. So these are not luxuries, these are infrastructures, right? Now, what does got to do with trichology? I'm glad you asked, right? I'm glad you asked, because a lot of times we are spending so much time trying to figure out um how we're going to get to the client that we throw a whole bunch of stuff at the wall, and we're trying to get these clients in our trichology practices, and we want to let them know, hey, like, I know what I'm doing, I'm here to help you. Your hair is shedding because of this, your hair is lost because of this, you're going through because of this. And then you pique their interest, and then you're busy with your hands, you can't answer the phone, you're missing calls that you should be able to pick up, or that you should have a system for. Because, like, let's be honest, when you think about trichology and you think about like where you wanted to be and what made you spend those thousands of dollars to become a trichologist, or those hundreds of dollars, but definitely those hundreds of hours to become a trichologist, you really saw the end product. Am I right? You really saw, okay, I'm gonna be a trichologist, I'm gonna be able to help people, I'm gonna have an office, I'm gonna have a clinic, I'm gonna have a treatment center, I'm gonna have a product line. People are going to be able to come to me and they're going to get A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right? So this is what you were thinking about. You didn't think about, okay, I'm working by myself, I do not have somebody that's able to answer my calls right now, I'm all alone, I'm a solopreneur as a trichologist. So I need to have some stuff in place, right? So you don't have time to answer the calls. The voice agent is like, for me, is the agent that picks up like on the website. If somebody say, well, I wonder what that's about, they can click the little thing and say, okay, well, what is this, right? And again, that's infrastructure. I want you to drop a 1 in the chat if you are nodding your head right now, right? And you are like, I need those things. You listen, I don't have the time, I didn't have a roadmap, I need that stuff, right? Exactly. Right. And then we look at the follow-up gap, right? There's a follow-up gap. I want to talk to you about something that nobody in the industry says out loud, right? Especially as a trichologist, because you have done so many things, and then you took your photo shoot, and everybody knows you're a trichologist now. But the thing that people are not saying out loud is that you're losing clients that you've already won. You're losing them. Think about this. Somebody finds you, right? They book a consultation, they sit in your chair, or they get on a Zoom, or they on the phone, and you give them a full assessment. You give them the protocol, and they leave knowing exactly what they need, and then silence. There's silence there because there's no follow-up. There's no check-in. There's no one calling and say, hey, did you start the treatment? Especially if like they're DIY, or hey, did you want to start a treatment plan? Or how is your scalp responding? Are you ready to move forward? All those things. There's nobody, life got busy with them. They meant to call back, but nobody reached out, and the moment passed. The moment passed, right? That's not a sales problem. That's a systems problem. It's a systems problem because the client was already sold, right? She sat in your consultation, she trusted you, and she just needed someone to bring her back to the decision that she already made. And we don't usually have that. So I thought that, that was a really big thing that I didn't have 10 years ago, right? But, it's just so funny because, and again, this is just like a little practice, like a little business check-in, but it's just so funny because we have access to things like that now. And it's kind of like, you want to continue with trichology. Hey, Mike, you want to continue with trichology, but you're just like you don't have everything in place. It's not as hard as we're making it. It's not as hard as we're making it, right? And then like even, people will call, right? And say if you do have a voice agent, people will call and then they're able to get your voice agent, and that way you can still work. But something that's even more powerful that's out now is outbound, right? So that's where it gets really powerful because the agent calls the client for you. So like those people that you missed, those people that those calls that you missed, or those follow-ups that you didn't do, you literally can have an outbound agent that's able to call. And that's really big for us as well. And that's for anybody, right? So I've deployed like on my own site, Trisha, right? And y'all know about Trisha, right? She's trained on my knowledge base. She knows my protocols. She knows my brand. And so she handles conversations that I wouldn't have time to, especially if I am with clients. And so a lot of times, you're thinking about, oh man, this is so hard. And, I got to do this and I got to do that. And it's like, if you have the tools, right, it's something that's going to really help you. And so I'm going to be showing my my spring cohort in our group mentorship, not even just showing them, but just kind of building for them the things that they need. So when you join me for group mentorship spring edition 2026, right, you're leaving with assets, right? You're leaving with the videos that you need, so you don't have to try to figure it out and scramble. But you're also leaving with even like a basic voice agent that's able to answer questions on your behalf so that you can kind of streamline that business. You have to streamline that business, right? And so that's the thing. Like if you are experiencing that, hey, I'm missing stuff. This is what I was telling somebody that was asking me about voice agents. I was saying, imagine, right, that your full treatment plan is, let's do a nice even number of $2,500, right? Let's say it's $2,500 and you get 4 free consultations a month. 4 free consultations a month, and you end up closing 2. 2 of them you don't close because they needed some more information. It was a 15-minute free consultation, but you was going to get back to them, right? Oh, I'm going to get back to you, or whatever the case, right? And so, hey, Karen. And so you end up looking at the fact that, okay, I had 4 free consultations telling them about why they need trichology or whatever your business is, right? And then 2 people you closed, so that's 5,000. 2 people you did not. If you miss 2 people a month, every month for an entire year, you are literally leaving $60,000 on the table. $60,000. I don't know about you, but I ain't got $60,000 to leave on nobody's table, nobody's floor, in nobody's pocket. I need all of my dollars. I need 60,000 cents at this point, right? So think about it. How much money? It is really like, oh, how much it costs. No, how much money are you losing by not having a voice agent? How much opportunity are you losing by not having a voice agent? Even if you are not a trichologist, right? But you have packages, you have things that you're offering. How much is it costing you to not have the things in place that you should have in place that is going to scale and streamline your practice or your business, right? It's very expensive, especially when you look at sometimes we look at how much did a person make, right? So like I'm also an AI consultant, right? Certified AI consultant. And so there's like talk around how much you should be able to make a year or how much you should be able to make a month, right? Now, if the consensus is that as an AI consultant, you should be making and a hundred and let's say $100,000 a year, which I mean, I'm lowballing it like for real. But $100,000 a year, let's pretend like you're supposed to make $100,000 a year, but you don't have a voice agent, right? That follows up, that calls, that answers, that's in place, right? And you lose 60,000. That's over half your potential income. So you mean to tell me you could be making 100,000 and you only making 40,000 because you will not invest in your voice agent? That's not gonna work. So anyway, I bring that to trichology, right? I bring that to trichology, and I look at like the digital space. I look at the things that we have. So I want to pull this together because I'm not just talking about one tool. I'm talking about showing up as a complete business, right? If you're a trichologist and you don't have a website, then you don't exist to the client who just typed hair loss near me, right, into Google, right? If you have a website but you don't have a landing page for your specific offer, then you're sending warm traffic to a page that's not built to convert, because you already know people get to your website and they like clicking around, they don't know where to go. Oh, was this a book now button? Was this that? So you have a website but you don't have maybe a landing page for something specific. If you have something big that you're about to do, right, get a landing page, put a voice agent on that joint, right? Because you want it to convert. If you have a class, if you have a course, if you have a group program and you don't have a dedicated page for it, you are selling from memory and you're hoping that people remember what you said in a social post. Come on. You got all these classes. You done built up all these classes. You done got colors and hex codes and fonts and pretty pictures. And what? Right? If you have an AI twin, right, a digital version of you that can walk someone through who you are, what you do, and what makes your approach different from every other person calling themselves a hair specialist or a trichologist, then you're no longer competing on availability, right? You are competing on experience, and that's the standard. You are the standard. Okay, you are the standard. Come on, say you are the I am the standard. I am the standard, right? And so that's the big thing. You have to be the standard. And that's what I built for myself. And that's what I'm building and I built for my clients. So everybody that is joining me May 4th, right, for 6 weeks, right? May 4th, they are going to leave with assets. They are going to leave with assets. It's going to be absolute. You are the standard and you a millionaire. How about that? You are the standard. And so on May 4th, I'm opening a very intentional 6-week group mentorship. And it's not a course. You're not watching me from a distance. And I'm not going to make you build the stuff. What you do when you join me for group mentorship on May 4th is you gain access to your assets and your positioning and branding. You need clarity. You need to be able to do the things that you're doing in your business while I'm doing what you need for your business. So you will not have to try to scramble and say, oh God, my birthday is coming up and I want to put out something so that people could buy my blah, blah, blah for my birthday. No, you're not sitting there like, oh, what am I going to sell for Black Friday, you already got a video with your AI twin that's already promoting that. You have a course, you have a class that you already building that you already have, and you're like, I don't know what to do. You already have a video or a landing page or something that you can send people to that is an evergreen. That you don't have to, it's not going to be, oh, on this date or whatever. If it's a class that you do quarterly, right? You can put that same landing page up. You can put that same video up, right? You have the assets where you was trying to figure it out before. You could start running your promo 6 weeks out so that people can see it and they can decide to work with you. And that is going to be the thing. And so my seats are limited. I'm super excited. I used to undercharge. Even when you come to a group mentorship for May 4th for the 6 weeks, I'm going to teach you your pricing. You're not going to undercharge. I used to charge $1,500 for a 6-week group mentorship. And you know, for all intents and purposes, I'm like, oh no, that's pretty good. But listen to this. I'm giving you assets, branding, positioning. People do not want DIY. They want DFI. They want done for you. So not only am I doing the big things for you, but also I am training you on how to show up, what to do, how to do it in a way that we did not learn in trichology school. The investment is only $3,500. I'm excited. It's only $3,500, and you get all of your assets. You get your branding, you get your positioning, but also you get your time back. Imagine me teaching you how to do all the things I know how to do, and then you can't do it. It takes you 6 months to do it, and then you're frustrated, and then you still have to pay somebody to do it because your stuff didn't turn out right. So if you've been watching me and you've been following what I've been building, you already know what a seat in the room is worth. You already know because you see me. You see what I'm doing. You see what I'm producing. You see my testimonies, right? I ain't got the lie, Craig, right? So the link to enroll is in my bio for Linktree, but also if you see this QR code and you are here on Facebook and also YouTube, but it's Linktree/Maisha_K_, right? So I want you to go there now. You can drop in the comments, or you can also send me a DM and I am going to personally answer you. Okay, you already have the knowledge, right? It's time for you to build the business that does it justice. It's time for you to make your money back. I want to leave you with this before I go. Knowledge without infrastructure is a gift that nobody can find. You can't be the best and the cheapest. You studied, you trained, you got certified, you got your results. The world needs to know that. Your future clients need to be able to find you. Your current clients need to stay connected to you. I want to build the infrastructure, right? I want you to show up with the assets. Let technology do the work for you while you do the work that only you can do. You heal the clients. You grow the hair. You do the events. You do all the things and let technology work for you. And so the link again is, or this QR code is right here. You can go ahead and check that out. I can't wait to see you. I can't wait to work with you. Have a great day and happy hair growing.